Your brother? You live in Harlem?
Shut up.
For real?
Yeah,
Did anybody pay him?
No, but the funniest part is that he was behind us the entire time, and I did not know until
I didn't know until like there was people
Well, because we were like struggling. Like, she was like, I don't know where to put my hand. And then he was just like, oh, you can put your, like, he said you can put your hand here. And this other guy was like, oh, you can put your hand here. And then they both did a double take. And they were like, oh.
Hey, friend.
Yeah.
All right. I'm C.
And this is D.
And this is Black Meets World. Hello.
There you go.
Episode 12.
I
like it.
Long time coming.
Sound like twins.
Right? Okay. So we have a couple guests. We have
some returning guests.
Some our fave.
You know, she gotta be here all the time.
Yeah, because
she helping improve in our lives. Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Sloan has improved my life.
I believe that.
And now with this podcast.
We also have our friend Camille.
Hello.
Hello.
And we have...
The name is Ron. Ron Mexico.
Ron Mexico.
That's the name.
Sorry.
So, do you want to do work stories or do you want to just jump right into the script?
Actually, I have a good one.
Go ahead.
It's real quick.
That's fine.
So, if you do you travel for work?
Not really.
Okay.
Maybe once in a while.
But if you did have like to travel for work, would your boss ask you?
I'm laughing because this just happened.
To travel the week of Christmas?
The week
of? No.
To 2 different sites requiring a 3 to 4 day.
Meanwhile,
3 to 4 days of work travel, meaning, and we all know that Christmas falls on a Friday, meaning no one's gonna be doing shit on that Thursday, Christmas Eve,
right?
And barely doing shit on Wednesday. Really?
Are we off on Christmas Eve?
We're not off on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Okay, got it.
Christmas, but I would have to go to work. I had to take my days off, spread out, so that last week when we're trying to close business, we are available. I'm not sure if I would actually have to work, but I do need to be available.
Yeah, we have to.
Right, you could be out drinking, having a great time, but as long as you're checking your phone, for any incoming emails or meetings,
I mean, if something happens and I gotta go, but
no, let me tell you how this works. My boss who is off that entire week requested of me, hey, can you pick up one work trip that week?
Not that.
And then we had our one-on-one today. Mentioned, I see you're going to this place. You might as well tack it on to another site visit. You could just make it 2 days.
I wouldn't.
Get out my face.
She was like, so I'm about to take these.
So did you say that to her just like that?
If anyone knows my life, I have exhausted all of my four weeks of vacation already.
And all your sick days.
And, well, you know, anyway. I had the flu last week. Cough, cough. So
she actually did though. They tried to keep it cute.
So are we still doing work stories?
Yeah, go for it.
Go right ahead.
Since this is the time to vent, this is Ron Mexico. I work with nothing but Caucasian males.
Hello, go on.
Nothing. So I am the one and only African American man in like 3 continents.
Wow.
So, you know, I am the one and only. So there's no one for me to vent to, so I'm happy I'm here.
Tell us your struggles.
So, in the United States, our team is about 15 or so. So my boss is reading an article, and he felt the need to send it out to everyone. Okay. And the article was about moving to New York and being young and making money. So the first line in the article says, just almost, I want to quote it, but I'm not. It goes something like, if you're reading this article, you're probably a young white man from the South who is probably a little bit racist and something. And
he sent that out to everyone.
And it goes on.
Please continue.
He forgot about his toolkit.
This is
so
right.
now I read. So I get this. So everybody's loving the article. I actually read it. Now I had to read the article. At this point, I got to read this article. So the guy's talking about how when he moved up here, he's from the South, and he wasn't really used to like everything New York had to offer, like the diversity, whether that's being black, being gay, being black and gay, being Chinese and gay, whatever it is, the diversity, and when it got sent to me, and I was like, well, I said, thanks for the article. I really think it relates. I appreciate the great read, but that only highlights the bigger issue that I was just like completely glossed over, that I was not in the demographic of this article, which is even a bigger problem. Was there was no one else for me to relate to. So I couldn't even go to one of my boys and, yo, you see this? You see this shit they just sent me? Or what is this? So But no, my boss is a cool dude. We both play football, so he's a cool dude. But that's just it's nothing against him.
It was harmless, but it's in the bigger picture.
It's a subconscious effort that he just like completely didn't even think about how that might affect you. You know, just
or he thought about it would take too long to email everybody.
Except for one.
So he just
he didn't want to exclude me. So he was in a lose-lose situation.
Yes.
So if he excluded me, I'm like, well, wait, why is everybody laughing?
Right.
They're excluding me out.
His best bet would have just
where's your boss?
That would have looked.
Then now it would look even worse.
Right.
So now he
HR
was going to lose.
So wait, where's your boss from?
I have no idea where he's from.
Is he Southern or is he from like the tri-state?
He's like up north somewhere.
And you're originally from North Carolina?
So you are from the South. Southern.
They're just not white.
So it was almost me. Like, but that. Okay, it might just maybe he might just gloss right over that
3
one.
out of 4 ain't bad.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
That's so funny.
That is funny.
So basically nothing happened.
So nothing happened. I laughed it off. I didn't email him back because I didn't want the paper kill. I was like, hey, good. Thanks for the read. Thanks for the great. And he started laughing. We laughed it off, but it was all good.
So let's jump into what I know we've all seen all over TV, which is the police officer in South Carolina and Richland County who slammed the student to the floor after she was a 15-year-old at that.
So everyone saw the video, right?
Right. Yeah.
Girl in class. All you see is the video start. She's just sitting there doing nothing. Was she on her phone?
Well, she was on her phone.
She was on her phone?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this big burly white school officer comes, puts her in a chokehold, puts her on the ground, picks her physically up out the seat in efforts to to get her out the daggone desk, and then hurls her across the floor.
So what killed me was also that he flipped her over in an attached desk.
Right.
Like, the desk is... So, if y'all haven't seen the video, I don't know where you've been. But also, the desk is like one of those very elementary desks where it's connected to the seat. And so, when he flips her over, like, the whole desk comes on top of her body. Like, it baffled me. But, I mean, I think... Obviously, there's excessive force being used here. I think what the officer did was wrong. But I think, like, no one has taken the time to really address her side of this situation. And typically, like, especially when things like this happen, they always interview the family. And I feel like we've heard nothing from her parents or her family or anything. And then I found out that her mom died recently and that she's just been depressed. She's been going through things at school. So it's just been an interesting progression of things. So, I mean, we have like a couple of... So shout out to somebody who wrote us a very nice script. Hey. Clearly, you listen to this podcast.
And we are thankful.
And we are grateful. And so we definitely took that into account. We're kind of going through the script and asking some of the questions that you posed to us. So we really appreciate that. So one question that I thought was interesting was like, does it change your view at all that the cop's girlfriend is black? That I was just like, how
anyone know that?
How is that even relevant? But also, what? I don't know.
You don't think it's relevant?
Previously, it wouldn't have changed my view, whether she was black or whether she was white. However...
The girlfriend or the girl who got attacked?
The girlfriend.
Okay.
But, like, I don't know if you guys know what's going on, like, now, there's, like, protests for him to get his job back.
Right.
But it's not protests from, like, parents. It's protests from the students that want him to get his job back at the school. So that kind of threw a wrench in it for me, like,
something isn't right.
Like, what truly happened here? Like, yes, he used excessive force, definitely. But I don't know if we've all been to that place where someone takes us out of our element and our initial reaction is just the worst. And in this case, it's on camera. That doesn't justify what he did, but it does make me think, like, all these students are protesting for him to come back to the school.
Well, a lot of people are questioning why he was terminated. Like in that it was more of a media push than a rules, or there was something that he actually violated. Like, in theory, he was handling the situation the way he knew how. Like you said, maybe he was pushed to the edge. There's obviously other things that could have happened, but
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying his actions or behavior.
Right.
However, it does make me take time to pause and think when children of the school are protesting that he comes back, and then his girlfriend she happens to be black.
Yeah,
that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it means nothing because that can just be a
somebody needs to meet her because she might not be with it.
Right. I don't think that doesn't change my thought at all. But what did make me just a little leery is that none of the students around seemed like concerned. They had like no emotion.
Yeah,
right?
the body language
what happened?
But the body language is wild, right? Like, imagine yourself in high school. You sitting around, you know somebody about to get in trouble. You sitting there trying to be as still as you can be because you probably involved in some shit that went down too, right? And then all of a sudden you just see like this officer do this heinous act, and my initial thought is, I can't believe he could put his hand on a child at the end of the day. It's a child, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm like, all right, let's consider all things. No one else in that room was moving. Like, you know, people were moving their heads like, oh, this looks crazy. I don't agree with the teacher saying that she deserved it. But at the same time, it's like, what happened that precipitated this, what precipitated this event? What if it was, because I was listening to CNN and I was really disturbed because this daggone officer was like, she was resisting. Resisting what? And I thought to myself, what if it was like a blonde-haired white girl that was in the same position? Would it get the same media attention? Would it have the same kind of, outcome at the end of the day? Luckily, he got let go. In my opinion, I'm happy he got let go.
So I think if it was a white girl, it would definitely get the same media attention because America puts white women on a pedestal.
No, I'm saying in more media attention. To me, this guy, this week, I haven't heard anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, no one's protesting this little girl.
Have y'all seen the picture on Instagram where it takes all the young girl in Texas that got dragged out of the swimming pool, saved by Mark, and then they paint the picture of it being a young white girl with a black officer on top of her, and it makes it look completely different.
We saw the end of the video,
right? We don't know what happened.
So when I see the students just sitting there, like initially I'm like, okay, is this something that they're used to,
right,
in the school? Is this is this normal behavior? And they're like, okay, so she's about to get hemmed up for real.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. She knew it was going to come. Like, is this normal behavior in the school? Or, because of everything that's going on, it's like, do you want to interject yourself in the situation and then you're getting hemmed up too? You know what I mean?
And it also seemed like there weren't that many.
But I feel like kids aren't that scared. Like, I don't feel like kids always feel like, oh, I'm a kid, you can't do this to me. So I don't think you would be that afraid to say something or at least scream out like, Dad, what the hell?
Which makes me think that this is the norm. Or maybe she did say some super, super reckless stuff.
And if she
prior to...
does she deserve... seem that, like, sympathetic?
No, I'm not saying she deserves, but what I'm saying is, yes, they're kids and everything. Your words do provoke crazy reactions, no matter where you are. Like, she's in a classroom and this is like the school, guard or whatever. Could have been anywhere else, said the same thing to, I don't know, a restaurant owner or whatever, and it could have been 10 times worse. I don't know. We don't know what she said.
Right.
We don't know what the situation, but it makes you wonder, like, none of the administrators in the room even stopped him.
No, they were happy.
Tried to pause.
And the students as well. Like, the students, I agree with you. See, like, the students seemed very nonchalant about the whole thing. Like, they were all just kind of watching her. From what I hear is that she had kind of become depressed. She had kind of shut down mentally. She wasn't really engaging with people. And that could have been, she might have had an attitude with everybody in the room. And that could have, been a part of it.
Her foster parents came out and spoke.
The part that makes me sick is I'm going to have a daughter at some point. I'm going to have a daughter. And if I saw this video of my daughter, then there's going to be like 4 or 5 people hurt, injured, and dragged across the place because then I have to instantly jump into action. And this is a police officer and a how old was the girl? 16-year-old high school girl. Nothing she could ever possibly say fazed me in the slightest to flip a 16-year-old over a desk or drag her out of a room. She could spit in my face. And as a police officer, I'm like, you know what?
It's your job to be
you know what? Just be calm, cool, collected at all times. And even if she caught me on my worst day, on my absolute worst day, I still shouldn't flip her and drag her out the classroom. You know what? What we're going to do? We're gonna escalate the situation appropriately. We're gonna call someone else in to handle this, whether it's another female officer or however it needs to get.
That's a good point. So,
sorry,
we
appreciate that.
Yes, good segue because I go to the airport on a daily basis. And guess what? If I randomly get selected, which happens every damn time, I have a female officer to come over and check me.
Right.
If a male officer's like, ma'am, you've been randomly selected, I have to wait about another 5 minutes for them to find a female TSA person to come over and frisk me. Because I even said at one point, yo, where's the lady? I was like, my flight is going to leave soon. Can a male just check me? They said, ma'am, it's against policy. We cannot do that.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that, like having a female officer. And I wonder how the school's set up such that is the security all men, or are there, female security officers, and what the case is? That's interesting.
I don't know if there would be a difference if it was a female. I think it would have looked as aggressive. It would look like a fight, I feel like if a man is approaching me, I probably, in my head, I would feel like, oh, I can't win, I'm not going to try it. But if it's a woman, you're going to kind of feel attacked personally, and you might swing at the officer a little bit, especially at 16, I would think.
Right. That's fair. You're right.
I think just all that estrogen at once.
So even if it was like a female officer, if a female officer showed up on the scene and said, you know what, young lady, come with me. And she was like, no, I'm not moving. And then there's multiple things that could happen that wouldn't look as bad as this look. This man flipping out.
This looks
there's
bad.
multiple you know what? You stay here.
Maybe
everyone
it won't
else
look
leave.
as bad. It's gonna still look bad.
It would still look bad. Or you say, you know what? You don't want to move. You stay here. Everyone else, we're going to the library while she gets handled. And 5 adults showed up. The principal, vice principal, everybody. No one can handle this situation. That puts even more fear in my heart. Like, she's 16. She's going through a lot. 5 adults showed up, and no one could relate. No one could help her. No one could get her out the classroom. That means there's even I think a bigger problem.
You know what pisses me off?
Go ahead.
Because if this been a white male, he is troubled. He's having some problems in school. There's some personal issues.
Girl.
He's going through depression. He's had some anxiety.
Right.
He has ADD. Blah blah blah. There's a litany of things that have attributed to this conclusion of why he is now sitting in this class and not respecting, air quotes, authority. But because it's a black female who in the community on a whole, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about depression. We don't talk about the fact that this young child has lost the one thing that was probably close to her. I don't know the relationship with her mother, but I can only imagine if she's young and she's a teenager, she probably had a close relationship with her parents. Right? And so, so Ron Mexico passed over a meme which had basically the female being manhandled by the officer, and then below it, it's that kid who shot up
Dylan Roof.
The kid who shot up Charleston, South Carolina, and it has how you arrest a black girl who refused to leave a class. And then on his picture says how you arrest a white man who shot 9 people at a church. Right? And he's being
escorted.
And he has on a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And is being escorted out politely.
He has no worries.
You know what I mean? So I get really frustrated when it's a double standard, especially when I feel like we hear these stories all the time about these troubled youths and it's okay, versus this girl is being called a woman and she's being spoken of in a light of where she should know better, versus being a child who was manhandled by an officer, white or black.
Right.
Anyway.
I completely agree. Well, you said something that was interesting, the double standard, and I think that we can transition. So did y'all hear how Minister Farrakhan apparently told Jay-Z that Beyonce should put some clothes on?
Come through, Farrakhan, with your old ass ways.
And he expressed his thoughts on the secularization, which I don't even know if that's a word.
It is.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. Of Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, basically all of the black female pop stars.
I want to hear a male perspective on this, because you're the brother in the room. You know, I got many thoughts.
I don't want to say for them to put on more clothes, because I like to see it.
Okay.
I do like to see it, so I'm kind of like.
If this was your daughter's generation, though.
If it regardless of what generation it was, hopefully my daughter has someone else to look up to than Beyonce. So hopefully she has a mother in the house that's not walking around and expansion and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that she can look up to, or aunt, sister, cousin. So that's not the only person to look up to. However, I did go to the Million Man March.
All right, speak on it.
And when Farrakhan brought out the beautiful young ladies all wrapped up in I don't know what it's called, but they're wrapped up in their garments. You could only see their face. These Muslim women, he brought them out, and literally he brought out 15 or so bad Muslim women. and they weren't showing a lick of skin. All you can see was their face, but the way that they were carrying themselves with everything, they had their ankles out and their face. That was it, and like the way they were carrying themselves. Like demanded, like everyone, like, yo, look at this. This is they're beautiful. They were beautiful. Like you can still see, like she was bad. Like even her body, you can still see. I was looking. I was like, I need to see because I was trying to look. If you trying to look, you can see. But you could like.
We appreciate the honesty.
They were bad. They're like I would have took any of those 15. And when he started talking about them, he was like, these women know how to cook. They know how to clean. They know how to take care of them.
That's
he started running off facts, and they got even more beautiful. After he started,
let's talk about it.
Wait, right? Because what you just said is so traditional. Like just because they can cook and clean, you became more attracted to
but you know, honestly, what?
And he said they were smart. He said they were smart too. I looked that up. They were smart. They were intelligent. They went to school. They can cook. They can clean.
So as a man,
I have 15 of them.
Okay.
All 15. Why would he wouldn't bring them? He wouldn't bring 15.
Sound like he had a casting call, but okay.
Well, he did a good
seriously.
thing.
Like the question is like for a man, right? Those qualities are it's almost, I don't want to say misogynistic, but it's almost it's in a light of like, look at these beautiful women that I have over here. I will say that I respect the fact that they are covering up themselves because I think that the root of what Farrakhan was trying to preach is, you know, you don't have to show off everything in order for you to not only be attractive, but for you to sell yourself, I guess, air quotes, sell yourself for whether it's a job or whether it's, you know, for a relationship or whatnot. You know, you can be still beautiful without having to display all those things to distract men. And I hate to say it like that, but those are the people who are distracted. Okay. Unless you like girls too, which is fine. But my point in saying all of that is that when he starts getting into the nitty gritty about, well, they can cook, they can clean, it's just like, shit, I want that for my husband too. So like, where's the pedestal with the men coming out being modestly clothed?
I didn't know we were going down there. He had an army of young black men too, suited and booted, ready to go. He said these men are protectors, they're warriors, they're educated black men, and they're here to protect these women. But they were working. He couldn't even bring them on stage. He said, my men are working right now, so I can't even bring them out.
So we couldn't see them?
So y'all couldn't see it. But y'all can see it. If you was out there.
The women were free though. They were cooking and cleaning early.
The women were free because they were out and they were upstairs. They were sitting on the stage, but the men were out there working. So he did also have that, the bow ties and the parts. They were out there too. So if you're looking for that, they were out there as well.
So, okay, I'm going to probably play devil's advocate because, like, I've already, in one of my previous stories about, like, my coworker and his comment about Rihanna and was like, oh, look at her. Isn't she such a hoe or a slut or whatever? That's his, like, first perception of her. And he doesn't know her from anywhere. All he sees is, you know, her image. And that's the first thing that comes to his mind. He's a white male, you know, late 20s, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like because these are like our women, we get sensitive and we give them a pass when we know that they do look slutty sometimes, and we know that they can cover up a little bit. Like they don't have, you know, there was an interview with Beyonce when she was with Destiny's Child. It was on MTV, and they were talking about wardrobe. And she was like, oh, my mother makes my wardrobe, da-da-da-da. And, you know, we never show too much. If we're showing one thing, we don't show the next. And blah, 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 blah. 15 years later.
That leotard game is strong, girl.
And that's not how she dresses exactly how she said we don't dress.
And we all want to see it.
16 though. Now she's
true. She's a woman.
She's a grown woman.
And she's a married grown woman.
In the words of Beyonce.
I understand that, but she was dressing like this well before she became a grown woman. She really was.
Matthew knew. Sorry.
They started switching it up early, like, you know, getting more naked or whatever. So my thing is, you know, they do dress this way, and it's for media, and it's to be, you know, shown on all the blogs, and to have your video rotate through and through on, you know, MTV Jams or whatever, wherever they play videos now or whatnot. But is it a good look for, like, young girls? No. Because they're looking up, like, we're smart enough to know better, obviously. But young girls really look up to these people. Like, girls legit want to be Nicki Minaj. Like, that's their life aspiration at 12. Girls, no.
That's real.
That's serious.
That's tough.
And if you're looking at people who maybe they don't have like the best, mother figure in their household or their best father figure in their household, and these are the stars that they look up to, it is a problem.
So I think, like you said, there's more than one role model, right? So you have your Michelle Obama and you have your Beyonce, and they're friends, but one of them has less clothes on and one of them comes off as a more educated, quote, political figure as opposed to like the entertainer and the, the bad figure and all that stuff. So I think there's something to be said for both. Like Beyonce is unapologetically sexual, and I think Michelle Obama's
and we all want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, like I'm here for that, and I'm also here for like Michelle Obama's unapologetic, like education and intelligence. So I think like it's just important to know that there's more than one thing that you can be looking up to, and like you said, like it's harder when there are figures just in young girls' lives that aren't molding their minds to be like, okay, right, be constructive about what you actually want to be. Like, yeah, you might think Nicki Minaj is bad, but half her body isn't hers, and you're not gonna look like that. So you're gonna find some new aspirations for yourself. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think it's easier said because entertainers are gonna always be at the top of people's aspirations. Like little boys aren't saying I'm trying to be a doctor or a lawyer. No, I'm gonna try to be an NBA player when the percentage of that is what, 0.5?
Right.
If you can even get into college ball, much less get out of college ball and into the NBA. Drafted, with a team and
I think it's 3%.
Sustain a career
of the
NBA, and I think it's like 2-point-something%.
Like the likelihood for you to become a doctor or lawyer was like 10 times higher.
Right.
And so like for us to, like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we can, tell them this and everything, but no, this is what they really want to do. Like I know girls that are, not too far in age from me who went to the best high schools, went to the best high school, the private high schools in New York, went to top colleges and stuff, but they still aspire to be like Nicki Minaj.
Ain't that some real shit?
I think
they aspire for red bottoms. They aspire for
Camille, as a married woman, please.
I think I'm naive. I think I'm just naive because when I think about like Beyonce or like Kim Kardashian, all I think about like, oh, these people are like handling their business. They're doing this, they're doing that. I don't even think about how they look to the media. That's just not what I see.
When I think of Kim, I think of a hoe.
But
I think of a shameless hoe.
But I don't think about
when I think of Beyonce, I think of talent.
So, but your experiences growing up shape how you feel. You come from a family, Camille, I come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Family. I mean, not to say like anybody in my family had to make a sex tape, but I just feel like she made it work and she's making this business kind of, I mean, because we can't say what her talent is, but she works hard at whatever it is.
It's like, I'm sorry, what is she
specializing in? She doesn't have a job.
She takes care of her.
She doesn't have a specific skill.
I think her talent is entrepreneurship and running with
showing
it.
her vagina.
And I've never seen her vagina.
I've seen her vagina in Vogue. I've seen her vagina on, what was it, Paper Magazine. I've seen her vagina on Ray J's sex tape circa 2008. I have seen it everywhere.
I think it's everyone's background. So if you came from parents that pushed a certain, like there's different types of women and you can aspire to be a combination of all of it, you're going to see it in a particular way. If your mother is, there's a lot of young moms now. For a lot of these young girls.
And they're all at work.
And yeah, they're all at work or
not at work.
They're aspiring to do other things that are maybe not so Michelle Obama-esque. You know what I mean? They're still in these streets. They're still trying to live their life too and everything.
That's real.
And they're looking at B and Nicki and all them the same way how their daughter's looking at it.
Okay. The person of our time was like Little Kim. So 1997, my birthday, 1997. Diddy came in town. I wanted to go to that concert. My mom said, hell no, Little Kim would be there. What do you think? That's not what I'm raising you to be. And I kept saying, like, I'm not even checking for Little Kim. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, whoa, Little Kim was a little too much for me to be seeing. But I was still so hurt.
I was so sheltered, girl. I knew what Lil' Kim Foxy Brown was off jump. I was like, oh, her legs are spread. Oh, she's talking about putting what in her mouth? Okay.
Nah.
It was always pushed like, oh no, you're gonna be a doctor. Right. But I was like, well, they're cute and everything, but
I was a tomboy.
That's a fantasy life.
Me too. I was a tomboy.
What they were doing was not even on my radar. I wasn't even thinking about it.
I wanted to be Cheryl Swoops. I wanted to play basketball for the WNBA.
Did you really?
Absolutely. I wanted to be.
What about you? What did everyone else want to be?
I wanted to work for Diddy.
I love it. You better get it, girl. money, any a black man, I'm here.
My mom, I was gonna make my, big break at that concert, but I couldn't go because Little Kim was there.
I think I always thought I was gonna be a lawyer. I just my dad's-in-law, my parents met in law, and my dad's side of the family has a lot of lawyers and judges, and I just always thought I was gonna go to law school when I was a kid.
What about you?
I was either gonna be a scientist in some capacity, or an artist.
You like drawing artist or like singing artist or like you said that very
photography art, a little bit of everything actually.
Oh, okay. You can sing? Drop a note, girl.
No.
Visual arts.
You said artist. Oh, there we go.
Crafty.
Got it. Well, since we all answered that, what do you want to?
I thought I was going to play football. I know the percentage of going to the league is very low.
Did you play in college?
I did play in college for a short period of time. I went to a black school in the South. Didn't last long, and once I got hurt, I realized this isn't the path. So, went into student leadership, and now I'm here.
Okay,
that's cool.
I had to switch it out.
So we mentioned that Camille is married. So
in married news,
so
y'all heard about Halle?
Yeah,
Halle Berry.
Just so, honestly, I feel like her whole life, Halle has been so good looking and always looking for a man to stay with her.
Like, don't do Halle like that.
That's honestly how when I think about Halle, I feel like so much of the press and media around her has been about her having kids and like trying to like lock a man down. Like,
for the men that don't know what's going on in Halle Berry's love life. It's fantasy football time. There's a lot of other things going on. Can we get a quick update?
Yes.
Halle Berry's love life.
All right, Halle Berry. Who was the first one? David Justice.
I mean, there's been a lot.
David.
You were so matter of fact.
So David Justice was like the first one, and apparently he beat her. It was bad. That was 90s. He played for the Braves anyway. So that was Halle Berry back in the day. All right, that was the Baps Halle Berry. Then fast forward to Eric Benet. They got secretly married,
which I really love.
Eric Benet, and I love them too. And I love that they had the love that looked like something I wanted to aspire to do myself sometime.
They were just beautiful.
They're both attractive. Eric Benet had a sex problem, and essentially it led to the decline of their marriage.
What kind of sex problem?
He started having sex with other. See, this is the thing, right?
I heard
you as a male have Halle Berry at home, but you go out.
You still step.
Oh, I just had this conversation.
Slinging dick with other women.
I just had this conversation.
My dad would always bring this up every time she ended a relationship, and he was like, "It's after all these relationships, it's something wrong with her.
There's a common denominator.
Maybe it's you, Holly. Maybe
that's what I mean.
Because so for her to be so beautiful and to have a great career, best actress, and all of the above,
something has to.
There's something with you. There's things that we're not seeing, obviously, in the relationship that's going on. That she could be pushing these men away for all we know. Who knows?
Holly, you don't have to listen to this. If you're listening, I'll take you around Mexico. We'll take you, and I will love you forever.
So David Justice and her were married for 5 years, and then Eric Benet and her were married for 4 years. Olivier and her got married in 2015.
And don't forget about the beautiful man that was in between.
But
where she got
those are all the marriages.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh yes,
that was a long relationship, but she refused to marry him.
Yeah, because she knew where it was going.
But I mean, I feel like that was a fun. I want to have like a little fling, and then oh my gosh, we've been having all this amazing sex. Oh, we made a baby together. I guess we'll just keep,
Olivier is fine.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. He's been in so many movies.
Yeah.
But they're both actors.
My favorite.
He's a French Caucasian man.
Right.
So this is how I feel. There's a common denominator in this pattern, right? But at the same time, we don't know the full story, and Halle don't seem any kind of disturbed after these relationships. She has 2 kids. But after she ends a relationship, she's like, I'm fine. I'm Halle Berry.
And comes out to the next award show looking snatched.
I met Halle last year this time at a gala.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, I met Halle this time last year at a gala. She looked fantastic. She's promoting her, it's on CBS. It's a series about how she was an astronaut. She went in outer space and was there for years, and then she came back pregnant somehow. And she was promoting it. So anyway, I met her there. We took a picture. She's beautiful. I told her how much I looked up to her. My other friend talked to her, and they started shedding some tears. It was a beautiful moment. We had a bonding experience. And I thought to myself, how can anyone not love her? But these are just my thoughts. I don't know.
He just can't eat steak every night sometimes.
Hey.
Please
maybe
elaborate.
She's a bad picker.
Please
needs to get set up.
Wait.
Please
elaborate on that statement.
Oh,
Should he?
okay. No, because I just had this conversation, so I don't want to say too much.
No.
However,
say it all.
We were having this conversation, and one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I'm married." He said, "However, I wouldn't be married this long if I couldn't leave this marriage every once in a while to do my own thing." And it blew my mind. I was like, what?
Was he saying to sleep with someone else?
Yeah, to sleep with someone else.
So is he saying that he does? I'm just making sure I follow this.
He sleeps with other women.
And his wife is aware of this.
No.
So I'm not sure. You know what? At that point, I said I didn't want to involve myself into this because once you get really involved, you're in. And now I know too much.
The way you phrased it was like, if I couldn't, as if like she knows and he's allowed to go. Like when he.
So I'm gonna err on the side that she does not know.
Yeah, I would err. That's what
I'm
I think.
err on the side that she does not know. So she was saying, you just can't eat steak every night. Like I love steak. I love it. Everyone loves steak.
Wow.
But after you start eating steak every night, it kind of gets like I need to take a break from steak. Maybe get some shrimp, get a salad, lighten up my load a little bit, get something that's not going to weigh me down all the time.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
So how do you feel about that?
I personally love steak. If I had steak, I eat it every night. Wouldn't deviate from the steak that I committed to. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. All right.
You're not going to get Ron Mexico clapped up early. I ain't got no girls. I need to be on my best behavior.
Right. So, Camille, how do you feel? What is the dynamic of your marriage? Like, I'm not trying to force you too much into the dynamic of, like, you and your husband's relationship. I just find it interesting that a lot of couples have this issue where it's just hard to be with the same person for so long. So, like, how long have you been married? And, like, just maybe a little
I was going to ask, even in the same kind of breath, but not so personal, like, what do you think might have led to Halle Berry going into divorce?
Well, she's our marriage expert for the episode. So I guess, like, could you just give a slight background on
how long have you been married?
So I've been married for 2.5 years.
Hey, girl.
Congratulations.
We've known each other for like a total 6 years.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Halle. It could be a combination of things. She may just be picking the wrong people, or is Halle known to be a diva? She just want everybody to say yes to her, or what?
I don't know.
I don't know. Originally, when she got with that guy, I thought, oh, Halle just wants a baby.
That's what I thought. That's what I mean is like the press around her. She just wants kids and to like have somebody to be there. Like I feel like, you know how you said she just bounces back? I feel like she's never been in love. She just like has these men around her and she's with them and then they're gone and it's like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm still bad.
I love you, Halle.
So one thing comes to mind, and this is gonna be real quick. So when I think of Halle Berry and I think of like she's aware of her blackness. You know, right. I was reading this article, and it was talking about her custody battle with her first child's model father, and in it she was like he wanted to straighten her hair. He wanted to straighten the little girl's hair. And he wanted to like basically give her like a permanent relaxer to take away the curls. And so they had to put in
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, but she was too young for even
right. They wanted to put in like the custody paperwork that at no point he could manipulate her hair.
Wow.
Any kind of skin stuff, like because he wanted to really make her look more white, less mixed. And so my thing is, based on her like dating track, she likes her white men. Does that go with part of her blackness? Like, are they expecting like one Halle and then they get married and they're with her and they get this other Halle that's like sister Halle? You know what I mean? Like at the house and everything. Like, because she's very private. Like, not for nothing. Mm-hmm. We're out here speculating.
That's why.
But she's very private. That's why we can't put a
say
pinpoint what the problem is, because she doesn't have her business out there. But these things she does talk about. She does talk about like, I'm not gonna have my child not know her black side.
I didn't know the dad tried to do that shit.
Like
that's wild.
Like, and he's also the one who wants not alimony, but he wants to get child support. Right. So my thing is, like, we don't know the dynamics of like what's going on in the household and everything. These men are different. They're not men of color. So a lot of things are, you know, what would be, you know, nuanced things for a black man to like, you know, okay, I know about the hair stuff. She's gonna show up with the bonnet or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're not ready for that. You know, I'm not gonna count David Justice. David Justice, that was a different situation. You know, there's allegations of him beating her. Of course, the marriage is going to end. Eric Benet, if you're a sex addict and you're having sex
sleeping out,
that marriage is going to end too.
Yeah, simple.
This marriage, though, like, you don't know. You know, maybe he was a rebound. She was just coming off of
But you know what I've noticed?
She was coming off of a bad breakup.
He beat up the boyfriend.
Right.
And she got with him.
He saves the day, makes her feel good, and now, you know, the honeymoon's over and it's over.
But I've seen, like, interviews of where she's talking about her new relationships, even when she was with Eric Benet, and how she just looked like she was on cloud 9. Then she got with this guy, my Frenchman, and she looked like she was on cloud 9 again. Like, she was like, we officially got married.
Don't all women feel like they're on cloud 9?
True, but like, you know.
I do. Like,
but I know.
You feel cloud 9 when you buy a new pair of shoes.
Girl.
That is so true. That is so
Me,
true.
girl, I got my phone fixed yesterday and I was like, yes, Father, on cloud 9. I feel you. It's the little things. Sometimes it's the little things. I don't know. I am interested because I know nothing about marriage. Like, aside from what your parents show you and, like, I guess your friends, like, I feel like marriage is something you don't know anything about until you're in it.
Camille, how many married friends do you have that are your age?
Oh.
Like, a majority are, rephrase, are a lot of your friends married or a lot of your friends not married?
How old are you?
So many questions.
All right, so I'll be 30 in less than 2 weeks. Majority of my friends are not married, and those who are, they're older than I am. But yeah. So majority of my friends are not married.
All right, so how do you feel? Okay, so do you feel like you're an anomaly? And if so, do you see other examples of young Black love?
Right.
I see other examples of young Black love at church, but I'm not as connected with those people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
How did you know that you wanted to get married?
How did I know I wanted to get married? I don't know. Maybe it's just something just like, oh, okay, I want to get married.
Like,
but
to
it
your
wasn't.
husband. You like
No, that was not even like a conversation that we had. Like, oh, let's get married. It may have just been like future things that we talked about.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, like prerequisite for some of those things was like, oh, we have to be married. But it was never like, okay, let's get married kind of conversation.
really.
But was there
How did you know?
in your head
Right.
for you, like
That differentiated him from
Was there a
others?
switch like, oh, this man is now elevated above the other men that I've been involved with?
Yeah. So it was maybe more of a like, this is somebody I could see myself spend the rest of my life with. So yeah, in that regard.
You're so like nonchalant about it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
yeah,
like,
you know, I felt.
no,
Because we need the answers. I'm out here and I'm single and I need a girl and you're not giving me the answers.
Asking the right question.
okay, so
okay,
let
good
me frame
answer.
it this way. So I was once dating this guy, right?
Okay.
And a guy friend of mine said, so if he asked you tomorrow to marry him, would you say yes? And would you be truthful in saying yes? And so that's when I really sat and I really thought about it and was like, wow, if he was to ask me to be married tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to marry him.
Okay.
So that's what I mean, like, you know, was it like, you know, you just thinking about it and like, okay, yeah, I could definitely see myself marrying this person and like just an internal switch. And then like from that point, how like did things change in your relationship because you had already flipped that switch? Like, this is what I'm here for and I'm ready for. And so you started maybe moving differently or behaving differently and or things started flowing differently in the relationship.
I think things start flowing differently for the guy at first because they're thinking like, oh, I want to propose to this girl. So they start saving money to buy a ring. So I think they start flowing differently and maybe you kind of follow suit a little bit because they might start thinking like, what?
No, I just have questions on top
What's
of
your
that.
question?
Rumix.
Can you give me like the timeline? I know you've been married for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You've known him for 6 years or so. All right, so tell me about the engagement. Also, tell me about the points where you're like, I can, you know what, he has XYZ issues. I don't want to know your man's issues, but I'm going to overlook those because he has this. So, like, what were the 3 things you were saying? Like, okay, he's a God-fearing man. He's an educated man, and he loves me. So the fact that he might have a gambling problem, I'm not going to leave him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has an issue. There's certain things. Because some girls, I'm like, you know what? You got a boogie in your nose. You got to go. Because it's just not, I just have nothing like you. I'm just not there. So what things were you like, he has boom, 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 boom. I can deal with the rest of his issues. Everybody has issues. His feet stink, whatever it is. And then they give me the timeline about how these things started to melt together and build into this relationship, this beautiful relationship, all this black love you have.
So when we started dating...
And where'd you meet him, too?
Mm-hmm. Well, I met him at like a housewarming party that somebody was having. So someone else kind of connected us.
I'm sorry, are you from the city?
No.
Oh, okay. Where are you from?
Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we met there. We're both from there. And it really was just like in my head, I just kind of thought like, you know what, maybe I can see where the next relationship will take me. I don't know why that was even my thought process, but I was just ready to maybe not date and play around so much. So, you know, we connected. He emailed me the next day.
Hey, email. All right.
I love that.
You hear these differences? Keep going.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Take
email.
notes, y'all.
Okay,
We
email.
talked through email, and it was like, oh, let's
You didn't give me a number. You gave him an email.
I think I gave him my number. I think I gave him my business card, so he had my number.
Gotcha. You gave a business card.
You better be professional.
These are the details we just want to know, girl.
Right. Hands out the business card.
Well, it's really somebody introduced us on like a business level. Like I think that can connect on this level.
Oh, okay.
But you know, needless to say, that's not what happened. But yeah, so we met. We met up for like coffee and we were talking, and then we just kind of hung out all the time after that. But I think where I was, I just started a business and I wasn't like so confident in speaking with people. So this sounds a little silly, but like we would practice me kind of like being able to kind of like pitch myself to people.
That's great.
So I kind of felt like, oh, this guy is like so interested in kind of building me up. So I think that's why I really felt like secure, because I felt like, oh, he's like interested in building me up, making me feel better, making me feel confident. I think that's where I was kind of like, you know, I really like him in this regard, but I was kind of always confused, like, does he like me too?
Yeah, it sounds like he's your friend also.
Right, so he was so much stuck on let's be friends, let's build a friendship. And I'm just
Were y'all
like,
both single all the time?
We were both single, but I was kind of trying to figure out, like, wait, does he like me? Because, like, I'm feeling him, and he's talking his friendship, but I ain't trying to be his friend.
Wait, so y'all were intimate?
At the point where it did become intimate, so
Okay.
I'm saying to him, like, you're saying
But there's
we're
no
friends,
title.
Got
but
you.
I don't have sex with other.
Gotcha.
So what is this, you know?
Got it.
So I think later on I did appreciate, like, oh, well, we did build a friendship. That is good. But I think I wanted things to move a lot faster, or he was trying to take it, like, step by step. And I'm kind of like, what's the point? I'm feeling you. You're obviously feeling me.
Yeah.
I'm your girlfriend, okay?
Wait, so did you say, did you declare, like, okay, what are we doing?
You know, it just got so
we go
strange
together.
from, like, other people, because he would introduce me and they would say, like, oh, this is your friend? And people would just look, and I'm like, oh, see, it's not just me. Other people trying to figure out what this is. What is it? You know? But, yeah, so eventually we became, like, you know, after many conversations, became, like, boyfriend and girlfriend.
We go together.
We go together. I guess to fast forward, like, a couple of years, then when the previous question about how, like, you know, things kind of shifted, not to sound so much like traditional roles or, like, you know, an oppressed woman, but I feel like men kind of shift a little bit and you kind of see different changes. So now he wants to talk about, okay, what are we doing with our finances? And talking about things that come more togetherness that make you kind of feel a little different.
Were y'all living together?
We weren't living together.
That's interesting. Finance is a huge thing, I feel like.
Finance.
Ooh, not to be too personal, I don't know if you want to answer this or not. Do you have your own bank accounts, or are they separate? Or do you have a shared bank account and then you have your own separate accounts?
We have a shared account, and I have, like, my own account that I do business things with, and then I have another.
Yeah, as most women do.
So I asked that because I have a married coworker, and I be asking him all kinds of questions. He's younger than me, and he is white male, married to a white female. And I was like, how does, he was like, yeah, we went out. This is how the conversation came up. He's like, yeah, we went out, and then I got tired, and she just kept going, spending all my money. And I was like, all your money? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, wait, do you guys, like, have different accounts? And he was like, no. He was like, early on, he was like, no, actually, early on when we started, like in the marriage process, like, before, like, the marriage happened, like, in the engagement process, we went ahead and combined accounts. And I was like, so do you have, like, your own shared and then you have two separate? He was like, no, we just have one shared account. And I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, because it'd be weird if we go on if we go out for dinner and then I'm like, oh, who's picking up the check? And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. And he was like, but at the end of the day, I make 3 times her salary.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, damn. And I thought to myself, goddamn, what they paying
What
over
does,
here?
Right. What does he, that was my only question. What does he do?
Because she works at an agency. So, I mean, she makes okay money anyway. Long story short, I just...
Does it have to be so...
meticulous?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's your husband.
Yeah,
if I pick up the bill, I pick up the bill.
That really scares me.
I'm not going to have a conversation with you about...
It's our money. We live together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really
I think picking up the bill is like a conversation that doesn't need to be had.
And I feel like that happens like in the dating process. Like, I can only speak on my dating behaviors. And I mean, at some point, there's no conversation anymore. Or there's that conversation of like, okay, so when we go out, you don't have to ask who's picking up the bill. Like, I'm going to probably always pay for the meal just because I'm just going to do it. Being him saying that, not me saying that. Yeah. I pick up the bill sometimes. It shouldn't be like, okay, well, this is our account for only this. And maybe that's just because I see my parents. Like, they know what they each take care of. So it's not even they don't have a shared account. They tried it. They didn't like it because it got complicated when they joined it together and it was shared because they make significant, different salaries. And so, one person's going to be like, damn, that's all my money being spent versus the other person. So it's like, no, you take care of the mortgage. You take care of the utilities. As long as everything's paid, what are we talking about?
Question. Do you take care of the bills, or does he take care of the bills, or is it a shared effort?
I feel like men are just inherently bad. Did we just have this conversation?
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
but like my mom is just like,
money.
She's like anal when it comes to like everything is getting paid on time. There will never be a missed bill because I don't function like that.
And there's no need. Like my mom will just be like, there's no need for us to pay these bills late. Like why? You know what I mean? Like the money is there. Y'all get paid. So like what's the...
I am in the same boat. I currently have money sitting in my account for bills that need to be paid.
What's today? The second? Rent is due.
And it's just sit like, I just don't want to do it. So that's what scares me, having separate accounts. I don't care if I make 1,000,000 times more than my wife. We're going to one account so you can make sure I stay.
Well, you married Halle, so I don't know.
You said what?
So you're marrying Halle Berry, right?
I'm marrying Halle Berry. So even if I marry Halle Berry, I take care of the bills. And the first chance that I don't marry Halle Berry, my wife might be the one taking care of the bills every month. I'll put the money in the account. My check is the direct deposit is going to hit on the 15th and the 30th. Handle it, please.
Then that's what automatic payments are for, or that's why you have a card. You have an authorized user for your bank account.
That's one reason I didn't want us to only have a joint account. Because I'm like, what if I want to buy a surprise gift? I don't need you looking, to know. Or what if you want to do the same for me? Or at least that was what I used as my
pull out cash and then buy that business.
That's
use
perfect.
PayPal.
If I had a family like right now,
can't use them excuse in 2015, baby.
I would run it like, you know what? Here goes one account. All the money's getting flowed into one account. Once it flows into this one account, then we break it off. So now it's in one account. All my kids, here goes your $10 in allowance. Use it wisely. Don't come back.
Your kids get allowance.
Wait, $10?
At least they get allowance.
They get one Chipotle bowl for the week.
They're not eating.
Your kids getting allowance.
Oh, okay.
They don't need to get nothing else. We're gonna cook at home.
You know what allowance I got? Go wash the dishes.
But then my wife gets an allowance. I get an allowance as well.
Wait a minute now.
I get an allowance as well.
I see what you're saying.
I didn't know if you were saying I've given her.
No, I'm not bestowing any money upon her.
You're giving them a little play money.
Even though we put all of our money together, it's still like, I make an Excel spreadsheet. So everything is budgeted, so like this is how much we're gonna spend for food. Let's not go over this because we have saving goals. We have trips we want to go on.
I like that.
So let's not act like you don't go to the barbershop. I don't go get my hair done. Let's not spend over this.
But first of all, let me say something. I understand when you have a partner that you have to be mindful of. It's like everyone knows each other's weaknesses and strengths. So it's like, I'm a person, we were just talking about this earlier, I need structure in my life. So, you know what? I need to be told, Wawa, you need to have, all right, at least $2,000 at the end of the month to be allocated towards XYZ bills, your loans, your rent, your utilities, all this other, or our mortgage, utilities, whatever, so be it. But I understand it's like you want to have a person who is conscious of saving, so you're able to at least build that empire with that person. Right. There's another thing when I hear words like allowance, or I hear words like she's given, or it just sparks up a whole nother kind of like interpretation of.
So these people might be given or allocated this money because if not, they might go.
They might go crazy, which I understand. We all got our vices. I understand.
But I feel like there has to be some type of structure. If not, then no one's held accountable, and you might.
And it could be the woman doing that for the man, or it could be the man doing it for the woman.
way.
I would love for my wife to give me an allowance. I'm okay with that. If we need to flip the roles to make you feel comfortable, it'll go straight to you. You give me the money.
So can we?
I feel like
that's real.
If you don't know your significant other and you don't know their habits of spending, and you don't address it up front, whether it's an allowance or allocation or what, they're gonna go around the corner. Like my mom cuts corners sometimes.
For example,
you can go to Whole Foods.
For example.
Yeah, so for example, you can go to Whole Foods.
Because I've tried this and it didn't work.
And you can buy some groceries and get that good old cash back of $200. It's still gonna come up as Whole Foods on the bank statement when
that is hilarious. Mama got that
is hella funny because my dad made a spreadsheet and he was like, I don't understand how y'all spent
petty as hell.
$600 on groceries. And I have nothing to eat in this house. But that's what I'm saying.
But things like that don't sound petty to me because I feel like if I spent X amount of dollars on groceries in the house, why was X amount of dollars spent out at fast food? You need to eat here. Or we need to spend less at the grocery store.
You just don't lie. That's it. We missed that whole part. Like, you just came home and lied to me. I see $200 worth of groceries. I don't have Cheerios. This is a lied to.
We got way off on the so then what's the next?
He started changing his behavior.
Right. So he started changing his behavior with finances being one thing. I don't think I had some fairy tale story where I'm like, oh gosh, he loves me and I don't care that he has what'd you say, a gambling problem or anything like that. I just think things kind of just went step by step and it just kind of happened. I don't want to say they happened around me like I wasn't living it, but they happened very organically. I think it lined up. I think, family-wise, this works out.
How was your family? So do you have siblings? Does he have siblings?
So I have siblings. He has siblings. Most of them didn't live in the same city, so I didn't really interact with them as much. But, he was connected with my family. That worked. I'm a big family person.
Y'all went to church together?
Did we go to church
Was Jesus involved?
Did y'all get married
Jesus is involved now. Jesus wasn't as involved then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did y'all get married?
We did not get married in church.
Ooh.
We did.
Where you get married, girlfriend?
We got married at a bed and breakfast.
That's cute.
The pastor was there, but we didn't get married in the church.
Cute.
I ain't judging. Listen, I think one thing that I have a question of that I think Ron Mexico was trying to get to is the fact that there are few examples of young Black marriage in our communities, and we love to hear stories and understand your journey because we're just curious about these. I guess it's not like there's going to be a manual that's going to tell us everything, but it's good to kind of share and hear those stories because we don't see a lot of examples of that, sadly enough.
Okay.
Especially in New York, where I will say that the age of people getting married that in my demographic, young Black female, is I see people in their late 30s, early 40s getting married, even if, they do get married at any point in time. But let's say if I go to the South, a lot of my friends from high school, middle school or so on, even college, are already married or having kids and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's just helpful to kind of hear perspective of a married woman.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have the manual for you guys.
What weren't you prepared for when you got married?
Yeah, so I have the answer for that. What I think I wasn't prepared for, I think because a lot of our dynamics changed. So for one, when we first got married, we lived in Ohio, then we moved to New York. So then once we moved to New York, it's started back over finding a job and the process of that. So that changed finances. So then once I started making money, the conversation of him feeling like, oh, wait, what are you doing with your money? And me having to say, I didn't plan to just spend my money wherever. I know this is our money. So I think us having to come back together with our finances was one thing. Because even though I mentioned that we were starting to planning of things before, it wasn't so strategic of this is how we'll pay bills. This is what we'll do. So I think that's something I wasn't quite prepared for. I would say that's the only thing, really. I think one thing, I guess if I'm being completely honest, that I wasn't prepared for is just family dynamics. So yes, he gets along with my family. I'm not as connected with his family.
Okay.
But I think that's something that my stepfather always said, if you're marrying somebody, you're marrying their family. Yeah. So I think even the way that you're born in your family, if you're the oldest or the youngest, you may not think that's so important. But I think with me being the eldest in mine and him being the youngest, I think that's a big difference. Because whereas I'm kind of jumping into this family, you know, usually being like the oldest, I'm now kind of treated like as the youngest, and I don't understand how that flows. So it kind of makes me clash with people at sometimes.
Interesting.
You know, so that's...
I'm the only child.
You're only child?
Yeah.
I'm the baby.
I'm the baby too.
Interesting.
So but I don't think two babies work well together.
I don't think it would either. I don't think it would either. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, when I'm at my, like, older brother and sister-in-law's place, I feel like a child again. Because they treat me like a child. And I don't know what his dynamic is, but...
So, I guess, like... So, say, like, for instance, if we're going on if we were doing something with his family, and it just feels strange because people are like, oh, we pay for you guys. And I'm like, wait,
right,
my husband's a man, he can pay for his own stuff.
And he's probably like...
That's exactly...
Right, he's like... So that's the thing. He's like, babe, chill. So I guess when there's things I wasn't prepared for, there were things that maybe like on a personal level that aren't so textbook that you wouldn't think about. So things of like being like, I don't know, like finances and the conversation you would have kids, those are things that we talked about. But me kind of figuring out where I fit in this other family was something that I didn't prepare myself from that does cause issues today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This was good.
This was good.
Thank you for your
cuffing season is almost over, ain't it? Should you have your full roster?
Girl, it's not even really cold in New York yet.
Cold yet. You got to...
I was out in some, like, in a light jacket yesterday.
Is it cold yet?
Technically, cuffing season starts. It started, you know...
Oh, the draft season has ended.
Draft season is over.
Well, I haven't been drafted.
If you haven't been drafted, it's still a little warm, so maybe they're like, okay,
Girl, it's
I know.
enough.
It's geographically based. Remember what we mentioned.
But I mean, like,
so since it's been warm in New York City... Honey, listen, I've still been out in the streets.
I feel like time is winding down. This is about the time where I be in my bed.
Now you gotta get the late pick. If anyone's out here looking for a late pick, Ron Mexico. Ron Mexico's out here.
How old are you, Ron?
25.
He's a young black male. Has a full-time job.
Full-time job. I got cable at the house. He's from the South. I don't live with my parents. You can come over at any time. I live in a brownstone in Harlem.
Oh, you live in.
In addition to Netflix and chill, he has cable at his house.
You trying to watch the game?
Get the DVR?
No, we ain't got DVR because we should be out doing stuff.
All right, you better have a comeback. Listen.
Well, that I think wraps up episode. What is this? 12? Did we say it's 12?
It is 12.
Wow, that's so cool.
Of Black Meets World. Thank you guys.
We really appreciate our guests.
Yeah, shout out to the guests. Shout out to our script writers. Shout out to Simone, Camille, Ron Mexico. It's appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming off the train and
they found me on the train.
So we should have said this earlier.
I was sitting on a bench drinking, and then they brought me in.
And it wasn't me. Y'all know it wasn't me because I'm not that friendly.
It was Wawa. This is the friend that I am.
So yeah, we appreciate our scriptwriter, and for those of you who have suggestions and things, we would love to hear them. So please continue to email us.
blackmeetsworld@gmail.com.
Yeah, subscribe on iTunes. I love saying that.
Please find us on Instagram, black_meets_world.
And
we also have a Facebook page which has new creative, so check us out. We're really excited about it.
Shout out to our friend Dre Major for that help, and follow us on Twitter at Black Meets World. Thanks.
That's about it.
Have a blessed week.